Guys, Deluded Gooner, I'm back. Yeah, YouTube's N'Golo Kante. You guys know the rest of it. I shouldn't have to say it in every vid, but let's get into it. If you've been following me for a while and you've been watching my vids from the summer, you guys know how much of a fan I am of Andreas Pereira. I'm not going to go into his backstory. Go and check the other videos. You know he's a talented player, but he was approaching the majors at 20, 21, where you need to play games or you need to assess whether you're going to get a look in regards to the first team of your parent club. Obviously, he plays for Manchester United. He went on loan to Valencia. Jose said he'd play games eventually. I'm not here. This video isn't to say who is right, who is wrong. I mean, regardless of how you look at it, Andreas Pereira, he's going to play games for Valencia. I do believe he could have played games for United, but there's Pogba there. There's several other players. Jose is not really a man for rotation like that. So while there'll be opportunities for games, it's really just going to realistically be cup games. Valencia will play week in, week out, so his move's been backed up. But now that you're seeing, I don't know how long Pogba's out for, you United fans know more than me and keep up to date, obviously, with the fitness levels. But Pogba's a long-term injury. Fellaini's out for a couple of weeks or however long. I don't know if it's months or weeks. I believe it's weeks. Yeah, man. So there's a couple. Carrick's even injured. So could you argue that he would get games at central midfield or play there? Allegedly, he's been playing a couple of games for Valencia at right wing. I've got someone keeping a close eye on that. Obviously, I can't always watch him. But yeah, like I said, he's been backed up. But when you look at the options, could he have played games? Now, he prefers specialists. So in that regard, he's not really going to shoehorn players and play certain places like some other managers at my club. But in regards to the injuries with Fellaini and Pogba through the middle of the park, you'd have to say Andreas Pereira would be the first option to go and play. You've got Matt has played centre mid before, he can do that. Mkhitaryan's intelligent enough to do that. Lindelof has been able to do that, so that's an option. Of course, he's still adapting and all of them things, so you probably won't see nothing mad like that versus Liverpool. Jones has been given man marking jobs in midfield by Fergie and Jose in the past, so that's another option. And they've also got a couple of young players. I don't expect. I think it's Max something. He came on against Arsenal. Forgive me, guys, but on the basis that he seems to be in Jose's thoughts, he'd at least be a body on the bench. You could even say Blind could play midfield on the basis that he's there, but could he have got games? Because Matic has more ability on the ball than he gets credit for, but there's a limit to how expansive and things he is. They've got Ander Herrera again the same. Where's the creativity in the middle of the park? Pogba's first year, yes, he was still being creative, but you saw him playing slightly deeper because they didn't really have that receiving off the centre halves and stuff. Pereira can do that, the deep line playmaker stuff. Obviously, if you asked him, he'd probably say he's a 10, but obviously United and all these things, you have to be able to adapt. And through last season at Granada in a relegation battle, he understands what it means to play for a team, to do jobs for the team. I believe he could be slotted in midfield next to Matic. He'd have to obviously do the dirty work and the less glamorous stuff that comes with being in midfield. But he'd be the creative spark. I know it's not Paul Pogba, but he'd be clipping it over the top, playing people in behind, trying to find Martial, Rashford, Lukaku, or whoever's playing up front, etc., etc. Of course, he'd still have to defend. I'm just here to play devil's advocate. I've just got to look at it on the basis that Jose said you'd get games. I'm pretty sure not under these circumstances. People are now injured. If he was here, would he fancy his chances? Would you look at like, yeah, of course, no, you don't want to see your teammates injured, but one more injury, I'm definitely playing. I'd pretty much fancy my chances. Now, if I was Ander Herrera was a decent midfielder, but if I was Andreas Pereira, I'd fancy myself versus him if I do the other midfield roles, especially when he's been marginalised this season. So you've got to wonder, would he have played games? Now, hindsight's a genius. Everybody's a genius in hindsight. You can't, like I said at the beginning, you can't fault him for going and leaving on loan to go and play football. He's 21. He needs to play football. He can't really afford to be on the cusp of things and relying on injuries, ironically, like this. You can't foresee that. So he had to make a decision. To try and illustrate the point, give me one sec, guys. Oh, one fell off. What's all this about? Tactics board, man. You guys know how much I love the tactics board. Now, before I start, Lukaku, Rashford, Martial, Mkhitaryan, whoever you want as your options. Matic, Pereira. Now, Pereira can play here. Like he said, in fact, make this Pereira. Like you saw with Pogba in the first year, he would receive, this is the ball by the way, he'd receive it off the centre-backs. Move forward, try and hit passes, try and hit passes. Why can't Pereira do that? Why can't Pereira receive it off the centre-halves? Clip a ball over the top first time for Lukaku. Play it in behind for Martial. Play it to Rashford's feet and ultimately just dictate play and provide that creative spark, whether it's driving the ball forward or whatever. Like I said, he would still have to do the tackling and the less glamorous side in the middle of the park. And Matic is a better passer, like I previously said. Then apologies if I'm not holding this properly. Is a better passer than people give him credit for, but there's a limit. And if I was a United fan personally, I would be all on Pereira because although he's young and he probably will make mistakes, you need to get that creativity in the middle of the park, to be honest with you. Like I said, he will receive it off centre-halves. off the centre mids and his partners and centre half. Clip it over the top, play people in. Imagine that. Lukaku's making the run. The run from short. He clips it first time into his path. Bang. Bang. Like, Matic can do that, but he's not trying to do that often, and that's not his fault. That's not what he's there to do in the team. You know, Matic is there to destroy sides and stuff. I'm not no mad analysis. I just thought, let me just say that to make the point. Like, would he have played, guys? I don't even know the point of this video I'm trying to say, but would he have played? And if you play and you play well, you become a trusted member. Obviously, Rashford didn't come up under Jose, but Jose saw what he did under Louis van Gaal, and he's rated him a bit. Because if you was to put Jose in that first year under Van Gaal, would Rashford have got his chance? You'd have to argue no, to be honest. So yeah, like I said, with no Carrick, I don't know how long out for. With no Pogba or Fellaini, again, I don't know how long out for. Mata and Mkhitaryan, of course, are going to be options ahead of him. There's also a couple of defenders he can play in midfield. Surely United fans, Jose or anyone, would love to have Pereira just to at least consider. And surely he would fancy his chances if he was still here. Like I said, he's gone to Valencia now. So regardless, he just has to focus on his thing and his season and doing the best he can. And then obviously come to the summer. And if you want to leave United, you leave United. If you never think you're going to get into it. Or, again, get into the manager's thoughts even more. Because he was doing that in pre-season and it did look like he was going to get his chance. But yeah, guys, Delulu Guna, I'm signing now, waffling too much now. Get in the comments, United fans or foot fans in general. Like the video for me, subscribe for me. One love to the unlikers as well, probably some sour use. But yeah, man, Delulu Guna, I'm signing out.